live streaming March 2nd, 2025. And I'm going to talk about something important. Um, 7 ways to overcome your biggest demons. And I believe it's important because I think we all have faced demons. We all are facing demons. And we all have personal demons that may be attacking us every once in a while. If you think you're exempt from this, then stop watching this live stream because it's not going to help you. But if you understand the spirit world at least a little bit, and you know that there's enemies that actually enter your thoughts, demons, right? Not all of us have holy thoughts every single time. It's impossible. We wish, we hope, we want that, but sometimes we deviate, and sometimes we change our perspective about how we feel about the people around us, about the place that we're living, and of course, about God and many other things. And today I want to talk with you about 7 ways to overcome these demons and how you need to think moving forward. Hi, Tylene. How are you? By the way, you guys can leave your comments below. And if you guys are watching this after the live stream, understand that I am talking to some of the people here live. I have some notes here, so I'll be looking down. I wrote my 7 points out. Um, but, I'm going to be speaking from the dome as well because I believe that I understand this deeply. I've overcome a lot of demons. And some of the demons I've overcome is, the spirit of hate, spirit of jealousy, the spirit of greed, the spirit of lust, the spirit of annoyance, the spirit of foolishness, partaking in silly things. Um, so I will confess my sins. I will say that I've not only been confronted by these demons multiple times, and there's many more than that. There's thousands of demons, which I wrote about in my book, How to Beat the Devil. Um, but I've overcome them. And today I want to share with you exactly how to do that. So the first thing, right, if you're facing demons, is that you have to check your relationships. Because a lot of times, even though these demons come inwardly, sometimes they come because of the people that you're surrounded by the most. In other words, if you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a spouse, a sibling, a neighbor, a coworker, a boss, anyone, aunt, uncle, friend, enemy, that leaves you second guessing yourself all the time, then you need to check that relationship. Okay, there's a lot of gaslighters in this world. They make you feel the opposite of what you should be feeling. And sometimes you're left feeling guilty, lonely, you feel bothered, you feel like you were the problem to begin with. And sometimes that's what their objective is. Now, they don't know that this is their objective, but they know through their spirit that they are attacking you. Right? They're attacking you on purpose, and they know how to agitate you. And so, if you're dealing with demons, of course, like I said, there's many demons. You have to check your relationships. How do you feel about the people that you interact with at the gym, at church, at work, in your neighborhood, in other places in your community? And if you feel funny about any single person, then you have to make sure to either confront them or ignore them. That's really it. You got to confront the fact that you feel a certain way about them because you know that they're trying to provoke you. They're trying to elicit feelings that you have that shouldn't even be had in the first place. And that's what the enemy does. So check your relationships. The second thing, to battle your demons, we're talking about 7 ways to battle your demons, is to check your health. Okay? Check your health because what you eat, how you sleep, how you exercise, and how you conduct yourself has a lot to do with your success. All right. You are a spiritual being. You are designed to live with the Most High God. You are provided for. You are given the time and energy to work on the things that you are supposed to work on, specifically for your health. Now, I'm not just talking about physical health, but also mental health, right? Because if you know that you are being pushed to your limits, but now your bones are aching, your muscles are sore, you can't even stand up straight because you're so tired, you're so fatigued, you're so mentally and physically and spiritually drained, then the demons will come at full force when you're most vulnerable. Okay? That is when the enemy likes to attack. He likes to attack when you're weak, when you're docile, when you are about to give up, when you are hurt the most, right? After a breakup or after some betrayal or after, a hard workout, you don't want to do anything, or maybe you haven't worked out in 5, 6, 7 days and you usually work out every other day or so, right? That's when he likes to come, make you convulse in times when you need more physical training, right? More flexibility, better food, better sleep, right? There's been times where I went on, 2, 3 hours of sleep, 4 or 5 straight days in a row, almost a whole week. And I'm like, man, God, I can do this, but I'm not a robot, right? I need some rest. I need some time to take a break, to catch my breath, and to actually think about where I'm at in life. So physical health is important. Check your health, check your sleep, check your food, right? You can't be eating food from a box every single day, every single time. Check the preservatives, make sure you're getting the right nutrition, make sure you're taking your vitamins if you do that. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water and way less sugars. Make sure you're getting proper rest. Some people need 8 hours, some people need 10 hours. There's some people who can survive on 4, 5, or 6 hours. You know yourself enough, especially if you're an adult. If you're past the age of 35 and you're not taking care of your body, then you will have to pay for it in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, and beyond. Okay? And for young people under 35, if you don't think that your diet and exercise or lack of it and sleep will catch up, well, wait until you hit your early to mid 30s. Okay? Fix your postures. Fix the way you think. Fix the way you're living. Take care of yourself. All right, so the third point actually is to take a break. Okay? Demons attack the most when you are flustered. Okay? When you are filled to the maximum. I call it being maxed out. When you're maxed out in life, you just can't take it anymore, right? Let's say you're working, your boss is just giving you more tasks, more responsibilities, more assignments. You take it home with you. You take it to the weekend. You take it in your vacation. There's some people who can do that successfully. There's some people that can do that successfully for years. But sometimes there's a breaking point. Sometimes there's a time where you're like, man, if they give me one more task, if they force me to do one more thing, then I'm just going to break. All right, that's when demons erupt. That's when they go berserk the most. Now, I understand. I know what it's like because I'm a workaholic, right? So I know what it's like if you get one more task and you're still to the max and you're like, well, I can just do this one more. Okay, then you do it, right? And then another one, then another one. And then finally, when you find yourself agitated and you're like, man, I just can't do this, man. And then okay, let me take one more. I don't know. You could probably do it, but you probably shouldn't do it, right? This is where you have to draw the line. Okay. Now, sometimes people think that they're maxed, but they're not. All right. Sometimes you just need to switch things up. Maybe you've been doing it the same exact way, and you're just tired of doing the same task the same exact way. Right? No one is exempt from drudgery. No one is going to escape the fact that we're going to have to do things that we don't want to do. Okay? We all have to do things we don't want to do. Who likes to file taxes, right? Raise your hand. Nobody, right? Who likes to email someone who hates them? Nobody, right? Who wants to resolve conflict between a fierce enemy all the time, every day, right? Nobody wants to do that. There's a lot of things that we don't want to do, right? Do I like putting together contracts and long paperwork and getting lawyers to sign off on a very complicated document? No, I don't like doing that. But do I have to do it? Do I actually find a way to enjoy the process? Yes. There's times when I'm doing taxes, which is one of the things I hate the most, and I'm just like, man, why do we have to pay the government millions of dollars? Right? It doesn't make sense. But then I find joy in it, right? When I start looking at what I spent my money on, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could be a little smarter, right? When I look at the people I work with and the relationships that I'm forming between my tax professionals, I'm thankful, right? And so there is glory in the story. But if you're maxed out to the point where hey, man, I got to take a break. I can't do it anymore. Maybe you need 4 hours, right? Not everyone needs a whole vacation. Maybe you just need 4 hours to yourself on a Saturday night or a Monday morning, whatever it is, right? Maybe a Wednesday midday from 2 to 4 or 2 to 6 or 2 to 8, right? 6 hours you need. Sometimes you just need to take in some air, take a break, go on a nature walk, try a different sport, do something that gets you activated. That actually takes us to our fourth point, which is to try new routines. All right, there's a lot of people that take the same way home every single time. They go to the same places, the same church, the same restaurant, the same places to serve their community. But if you see the same faces in the same spaces of the same races, then you're going to be stuck. There's a lot of people I know that are black, they only hang out with black people. Or they're white and they only hang out with white people. They're Asian, they only hang out with Asians. Or they're Christian, they only hang out with Christians. Or they're Muslim, they only hang out with Muslims. That's not going to help you. You might think, okay, well, I should always be with Christians if I'm Christian. Yeah, you should. But then there comes a point where you have to preach the gospels. Right? You have to get out there. You have to change your community. You have to change the way you view things if you want to change the way you do things. You can't go to the same place, sit in the same seat, eat the same food. There's so many things out there in the world. Why do you have to be stuck right now in the same place every single time? Why do you have to take the same route home when there's like 7 different ways to get back? Why do you have to drive the same kind of car, the same exact color, wear the same exact outfit, celebrate Christmas the same exact way as you've been doing in the years before? Right? So I'm just reading comments here. How many books have I written? 5. Working on my 6th one. So switch it up, guys. Do something different. If you want to beat your demons, right? The enemy knows what you're going through, right? God knows even more, though. And if you want to confuse the enemy, you want to shake some of these demons off, you got to switch up your routines, right? You got to switch up some of your relationships. There's some people in your life, right, that you just can't afford to have around anymore. Friends, family, neighbors, there's all different types of people that you're going to have to forfeit if you want to reach the next level of your life. Okay? So switch up your hobbies too. Like I said, I play basketball, I play chess. I always tell you guys, I like to cook, right? I like to make pasta, right? I like to make Mexican food. I like to make all types of food, steaks, shakes. One time I was so inspired, I'm like, let me make horseradish sauce. Other time I'm like, let me make my own Greek dressing. I'm not just going to make the same thing every single time, guys. That's just not how you enjoy your life, right? You can't eat the same grilled chicken breast, broccoli, and corn and rice. You got to switch it up. You got to do something different, right? You got to do something that inspires you, that reinvigorates you. If you don't, the enemy seeps in and he talks to you. He's like, "Oh, look how bored you are. Look how lonely you get. Look how silly you are." Then you start comparing to others. "Oh, how are they doing all this fine dining? How are they out eating Mediterranean food one night and then steakhouse the next night?" Well, it's because you get hard on yourself because you're not doing anything different for yourself. And that's what you have to do. So, someone's asking, what if you hate change? Well, this is the point, right? The enemy hates when you change too, right? When you're used to sin and you're stuck and you're watching porn and you're used to gambling and you're used to gossiping and you're used to doing all the evil that you normally like to do. um, I'm not saying everyone does this, but we all have things, evils that we try to cling to the most. Or you're nursing evil thoughts or grudges or jealousies, or hatred, anger, bitterness. You gotta shake it off. That's when you need to change the most, right? So if you're watching this live stream and you're like, man, you know what? I don't like to change, but I don't like my life the way it is right now. Right? If your life is anything less than a 7 out of 10, you need to make some changes, and you need to do it now. Okay. So all right, next point. So let me go through these so that you guys are keeping up. 7 ways to battle your biggest demons. If you're joining right now, you'll be able to catch up with me if you're taking notes. Number 1, check your relationships. Number 2, check your health. Uh, Number 3, take a break. Okay, some people need 4 hours. Some people need 4 days. Some people need 4 months. Some people even need 4 years. All right. And number 4, uh, you need new hobbies and routines, right? New disciplines. Number 5, check what you're studying. Okay, this is our next point. Check what you're studying. If you study miscellaneous things, you're going to get miscellaneous results. If you're studying the same thing over and over again and you're so bored with it, then it's time to switch it up. All right. Or you're studying evil things from evil people and they're pretending to be good. That's one of the biggest problems. In fact, that is how the enemy invades our mind the most, right? Our spirits are infiltrated when we surround ourselves or study people who we think are good but are actually bad, right? Some of the places where I've seen the most hypocritical people and things happening are in places where you wouldn't expect it: at the church, at the college, at the bank. Like, you would think, okay, the bank is in my best interest. Then why are they being greedy? You might think, well, the university, I'm supposed to get smart. Then why is no one reading books? Why is no one taking education seriously? Why are kids cursing? Or the church. I expect the church to have a lofty vision of what it has to do to serve Jesus Christ. But then why are these people sinning and talking about nothing? Things that are not important. Right? So the places where you think would have the loftiest ideals sometimes could hurt you, right? Because you're like, okay, I thought that what I was studying, what I believed in, was going to take me to the next level. And I'm realizing right now that it's not. I'm realizing that it doesn't. I'm realizing that the music that I used to listen to, the movies I used to watch, the things I used to consume online are not giving me fulfillment. Right? This happens. There was a time when I used to watch very long videos, 30 to 60 minutes. Then I realized, you know what? Let me skip around and see what they're saying. And then eventually, a few months later, I'm like, I don't need this anymore. Like, I don't even know why I'm studying this. It doesn't give me fulfillment. It doesn't give me happiness. Then I realized what the real problem was. The real problem was that I wanted to do more purposeful work. I was already doing purposeful work, but I wanted to do more. And in conjunction with that, the people that I was surrounded with on my team wasn't able to they weren't able to handle that level of growth that I wanted. So what I did was I assigned myself to these videos to escape that pain. That's what I did, right? I would watch sports videos and I'd be like, okay, wow, yeah, this could happen if this player got traded and if these statistics went this way and that way. And I would just like think about that, but then I would be like, you know what? The reason why I'm studying this is because I'm avoiding confronting the people on my team about their lack of production. Right? I was escaping that truth. And in order to beat that demon of incompetency and laziness that I was confronted with as a leader, but also from my people, I determined to bang the gavel, to be the judge and say, you know what? I am tired of this. And the moment I confronted some of those people, they left, right? Some of them left, some of them stepped it up, right? Some of them said, you know what? I like what you're saying. I'll turn it up for a little bit, but then later, two months, 2 years later, they confronted me and like, you're pushing us too hard. Okay, well, see ya. Go work for a company that pays you less, that teaches you less, that gives you less, that expects less. Because Daniel Alley is going to push his employees to the max. I don't tolerate nonsense, my friends. If you're going to work 40 hours, you're going to work 40 hours. If you want to work more, then I'm going to treat you right. Right? If you're putting in the work that I'm doing and you're matching up, then you're going to get the same blessings that we get. Or you're going to enjoy it, right? But if you want to do the minimum and you want to do 40, 45, 50 hours, all right, enjoy yourself. Go have your own life on the side. I understand that. Nothing wrong with that. You can do that if you want. Um, but if you want to actually be on my team and you want to grow and do something for the Lord, then that's what it takes. And not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone understands that. Some people will think, "Oh, you're tyrannical." Well, you know what? To be a multimillionaire and a billionaire, and to get out there, that's how you got to be. All right. Not everyone understands that, and that's why I suggest that they should just take their little day job, enjoy their 2, 3, 4, 5 vacations a year, and enjoy their weekends and their nights. Because working for a businessman directly is not something that they should do. Um, so back to the point. Check what you're studying. Is what you're studying conducive to your success? Right. Sometimes I see self-help teachers, and I'm like, man, they don't have any clue what they're talking about. Right. Or they're mocking the industry. They're making fun of other people. They're making fun of other teachers. They're coming off of, I'm not trying to sell you something, when that's in fact their biggest goal. Right. Um, and they dress a certain way. They do certain things. Um, and they control the propaganda that pervades this world. And so you have to watch who you're studying and what they're saying. Um, Read their books. If you really want to learn, read their books. But also avoid some of the books that are out there that are bestsellers, right? Because a lot of those people buy into those lists. To be a New York Times bestseller is one of the easiest things to do. You literally have to pay a PR firm to get you on that list. No one is actually a New York Times bestseller author. No one does that. That used to be a thing when authors had to take certain routes to get to where they are. But because it's been so watered down over time, like college education, churches, and other institutions like insurance and medical and so many others, automobile industries, so many industries have been watered down over the decades because there's been a little bit too much going on. Okay, a lot of compliance, a lot of ignorance, a lot of people not catching the details of certain things and missing out exactly on the things that they should be focused on the most. Um, so, anyways, I got a lot of questions here. Someone says millionaire is not enough, billionaire is the goal. Yes. Um, what do I suggest if you drop out of university? I think you should, if you know it's right. I mean, look, a university is basically a group of buildings that are surrounded by a library. All you're going to school for is to read books, right? Think about every semester, what do they want you to do? They want you to read the books. They want you to study the syllabus. They want you to go through the course material that will lead you back to the books that they want you to read. And then the professors who never left school are going to be like, okay, well, did you read the books? Okay, thank you, Mr. Professor that makes $150,000 a year, or half of that, depending on their level, the rank. Thank you, Mr. Professor who never left school. Thank you, Mr. Professor who is totally out of shape and someone I would never want to be like. The other day, I'm not knocking anyone, but I saw a dude that was like almost 400 pounds. And I saw all these people going to class. There was probably like, 15 people in that class. And they're listening to this guy. And I'm like, Why would you listen to someone who's like that? Some people might say, "Yo, you're judgmental, man." I personally would not want to learn from someone that is not like that, who I want to be like. Now, I know there's some things that they can teach. If they're teaching something technical, okay. Um, but it looks like he was teaching something that was more based on self-help, developmental, and something like that, of that nature. By the way, if you want to reach out to me, hit me up at mrdanielalley@gmail.com. But back to the point, mrdanielalley@gmail.com. It's kind of like, would you take advice from uh, uh, someone on psychology that is showing signs of envy, bitterness, jealousy? No, they don't understand their own psychology. How are they going to teach you psychology, right? Would I take instruction from a PE teacher, right, physical education teacher, by someone who's out of shape? No. Would I take advice from someone who is broke about money? No, right? I've seen many financial advisors making $20,000, $30,000 a year for years, and I would never take advice from them, right? If I'm going to get a financial advisor, I want them to be at least 5 to 10 times richer than me, right? Even double, right? Double as wealthy as I am, um, then I'll take your advice, man. It makes more sense now. Um, so keep asking me questions. We're talking about how to beat your demons. Check your relationships. Number one, check your health. Take a break. That's my car. Um, So number one, check your relationships, check your health, take a break, find new hobbies and routines, check what you're studying. Number six, this is the new point. Check your intentions. Okay? Is what you're actually believing taking you to where you want to go? Are you supporting the right political affiliations? Are you supporting the right religious beliefs? Okay? Enemy attacks very hard if you believe the wrong things. All right? I know people, they're like, oh, I support this charitable cause. Okay, why? Why do you support, let's say, the Red Cross? Oh, because they're a great institution. Okay, why? Did you research them? Did you look at the historical data? Did you study the facts? Do you know the founders? Do you know the people running the show right now? Do you know where the money actually goes? I'm not picking on them directly. I think they're great for some people. But the point is that um, what are you supporting? Right? Some people are like, I support Ukraine. Then other people are like, I support Palestine. Okay, why? Are you supporting it because other people are supporting it? Are you supporting it because you're trying to proclaim a certain religion? Are you supporting it because you feel bad about what you think someone is doing to someone else, or a group of people are doing to another group of people? Or do you actually know the truth about something? Right? So I think it's imperative to understand what you're supporting. All right? Even platforms. Why are you supporting social media platforms, certain ones? There's some of them that you may not, that you shouldn't support anymore or support as much. There's several platforms that I'm on that I just don't put energy into. I don't put effort into it. I used to. I thought about it, but then I realized how flawed the algorithm was. I'm like, I can't put that much energy into it. It's not worth it. But I'll still post on there every day because you got to show people, hey, you're on everything, right? That's how the world works. Um, So, number six, check your intentions. Are you holding the right thoughts? Are you supporting the right causes? Are you putting yourself in a position whereby you know that what you're supporting is going to take you to heaven? Okay, that's how I would think. That is how I would formulate my thoughts. Right? Like when I pick a political party, I'm thinking, man, you know what? One side is right and one side is wrong. Okay. Now, the one side that is right still has flaws. Okay. And one side that is wrong still has truths. Okay. I'm not going to say that one side of the political spectrum is only right and always right every single time, or the other side is always wrong every single time. There's pros and cons to both sides. But I will pick one side and know the problems that they have, even though I believe in that side. Because I know that when it comes down to it, that is how you vote. Right? You can't vote in the middle because people in the middle don't usually win in this country, in America. Now, eventually, there may be an independent candidate that comes out or someone from another party that will be supported at a higher level. Might even be me. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying, guys. You have to know exactly where you stand, right? And also know that where you stand represents who you are and who the Lord Jesus Christ needs you to be, right? Because if you're not doing the things that represent God's kingdom, then what are you doing? The enemy loves to attack people who are confused. He loves to attack people who have differing thoughts. That's like the number one way that he separates people, right? Opinion is the greatest way for people to be separated, for people to be, what do you think? Oh, I think lacrosse is better than volleyball. Okay, well, I hate you then. You know, like that's how people operate, right? They act like that because they know, like, hey, this is not what I want to accept. This is not who I am. And because you support that affiliation, I don't like you. Because you support Ukraine and I support Palestine, I hate you, or vice versa, right? I support Palestine and you support Ukraine. No, 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 I don't mess with you, man. Or you're liberal and you're conservative. I don't want anything to do with you, right? So that's not how we should think, right? God's kingdom, it's supposed to work like this. We are all supposed to join together and serve each other perfectly, right? We should all be, now we can have differing opinions, but we should all be able to come up with a unanimous decision to love equally, right? Unconditionally. And that's what is the most important thing, right? To love others, respect, to embrace truth. If someone has a differing opinion, hey, I understand where they stand, but this is what I believe. And if they're open, a lot of people aren't open, most people aren't, then you can share your thoughts. And if they're not, then, move on. There's a lot of times where I can't share any of my thoughts with most of the people that I meet. Because, first of all, if they're not talking my ear off, which a lot of people do, um, they're just not open to the truth, right? When I'm writing Beat the Devil Part 2. If you've already read Beat the Devil Part 1, it's a masterpiece. The Part 2 starts off with the unteachable spirit. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek because it's going to come out this year. But it comes out with the first part is the unteachable spirit, which I didn't cover in Part 1, because I know that there's a lot of people in this world, they're just not ready to be taught, right? But what does the Bible say in Proverbs? To learn, one must want to be taught, right? I think that's Proverbs 12:1, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I know it's in Proverbs for sure. But to learn, you must want to be taught, and a lot of people don't want to be taught. A lot of people have ego, they have pride, they don't want to make corrections, they don't want to make amendments. So, last point, if you want to beat your demons, if you want to beat the devil, the last thing you got to do, and honestly, the first thing you got to do, is come to God. Okay, come to God, trust in the Lord. Um, when you give something up to God and you really believe, Lord, let's say I have jealousy, I have anger, I have lust, I have overeating problems, I have anxiety, I have sleep problems, I have, whatever you have, right? Say, Lord, I have this problem, and I'm giving it up to you, right? Say, Lord, I've been lazy. I know that I can be doing more, and it's not that I'm tired, it's just that I don't want to get up. And then you might even study your ancestors, and you might say, okay, my mom was lazy, my grandma was lazy, uh, my great grandfather was lazy, and then you can kind of like trace the lineage. Not that it matters that much, because it doesn't mean because they were that you are, but you can kind of see like, okay, if they were, then it should motivate me more to not be like that, because I know I can break these conditions. Um, there's a lot of things that run in the family that need to run out of the family, okay, and there's spiritual conditions, like poverty and lust and gossip that runs in families that never ever leave until someone like you comes out and breaks them, right? You break those generational curses. Um, so you have to be the anomaly, right? You have to do something that your family history has never seen before, right? You have to make the difference today. You can't wait, right? You have to come to the Lord. You have to make sure that you're reading your Bible. I've read the whole entire Bible multiple times. Focus on the New Testament if you can. I would journal every day. I journal. You know, sometimes I journal twice a week. And when I say every day, I'm saying I write down every single thing that happens every day. And then twice a week, I write down every single thing, sometimes 10, 12, 15 pages at once. And it'll take me a couple hours, but it's worth it. I just play music. That's how I unwind. That's how I go through some of the demons that I'm facing and determine what I need to do in order to beat them. Um, Going on a nature walk is important. I think taking time in prayer and worship. Some people need a lot of music, gospel music. Some people need uh, a lot of time on their knees to pray. A lot of times people need to just be in the kitchen and they need to enjoy themselves. They need to cook up a storm. And you could do it every day. You could do it once a week. You could do it a couple times a week. Some people need to work on their cars. They're mechanics. Some people need to play with their dogs. That's how they worship God. Everyone is different. Different strokes for different folks, right? So sometimes you need to dress up. Maybe you've been dressed down all week, or you've been dressed down for months or years. Time to dress up, right? Put on some makeup if you're a lady. Buy a new purse. If you're a guy, get a new hat, get a new jacket. Try on some new shoes, different colors. You can worship God in so many different ways, right? It's not just hallelujah, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Like it's you can worship God with the way you walk, with the way you talk, with the way you see the world, with the way you communicate with others. Um, yeah, getting haircuts. Mr. Caldwell is saying, "How you doing, Winonia? Ha, Winonia, we know what's up." And shout out to Patricia Bennett. I appreciate you. Bimal, we will talk about millionaire habits and routines on another live stream. I did talk about that a couple days ago, so you might want to check that out about how to become a millionaire in 2025. You guys, there's so many questions and thoughts here. Orlando, shout out to Orlando. Uh, Judith, Star Solaris, Andre. Oh, wow, Andre, you've been watching me 10 years ago. Which Andre, though? There's so many Andres that are my fans. I have a lot of Andres. um, Miss Simone, Kid the Best, John Garvey, appreciate you, David Knox, Walla Mala, Scottish Production, Transfiguration Hour, Abhishek, and of course Tylene, and there's so many more. Um, but yeah, find a way to worship God. Come to God, say, God, this is the problem I've been struggling with. Um, these are the things I've been dealing with. These are the things I have to do in order to get to the next level of life. So I appreciate you guys. Let me go through the points again in case you're taking notes and you missed a lot of it. Maybe you joined late. 7 ways to beat your biggest demons. Check your relationships. Check your health. Number 2. Number 3, take a break. Number 4, try new routines and hobbies. Number 5, check what you're studying. Number 6, check your intentions and the things that you support, your causes that you support. And number 7, come to God. I think that's the number one thing. But I say number 7. A lot of people are like, why do you put God at number 4 or number 7 or number 10 on your list? Listen, if you put it at number 1, people are not going to read through the whole list. People don't want to hear about God. But I'm going to bring it to you. So on number 7 is come to God, but it's actually number 1. Okay, I didn't say any of this was in order. But I'm putting this in order because you're listening to the 6 points, and then let's say you're an atheist, right? You're agnostic. Oh, man, this is making sense. And number 7, oh, you're tying it up. Come to God. That's what you got to do, right? When it comes down to it, come to God. Because when you come to God, you will be able to check your relationships. You will be able to check your health. You will be able to switch up your routines. You will be able to check your intentions. You will be able to take a break. You will be able to do the things that you need to get closer to Him because you are paying attention to what the Holy Spirit is doing and how He's leading you. And when you do that, then all things will be added unto you. All right, my friends, this is Daniel Alley. Appreciate you guys. Much love. I'll see you next time. You guys are amazing. And I'll probably live stream tomorrow or the next day, but I want to do this more as time goes on. There was a time actually for years where I didn't live stream. So, as much as I'm doing now for many reasons, actually. Um, but when you deal with your demons and you're ready to preach and you're ready to teach on a higher level, eventually it happens and it comes about. Look at that train coming through. Appreciate you guys. Much love, and I'll see you next time, all right? Take care. Bye bye.